alive, da da da. Hey family, hi guys. Welcome to today's story time. I'm tired, my hands are burning. I'm gonna let you guys tune in. Need some big plants. Big plants. Hi. Story time is back. Hi Jerry. It's story time. I'm so tired. My hands are killing me. Today is the first time I played in snow. I went on the slide, woo! And I had some fun too, but I also did some shiveling. What is it called? Shivel? Whatever it's called. So my hands are literally burning. Hi, welcome to story time. Today's story is gonna be epic. It's gonna be a lesson, teaching us a lesson as usual, and we might not finish it or finish it. I'm tired. Went for shoveling today. You know that, like, pushing. So give me a second. I did my clothes there. And lightly, I'm gonna lock it up. All the way back. Who's ready for today's story time? I always love closing here like this, so that we do not make noise. It locks us inside, gets us ready for story time. Who's ready for some stories? Who has ever shivered? Most of you guys know how to shiver though. I don't know if I'm saying it right, like pushing ice with something. Yeah, I did that today and my hands are actually killing me. They're more like, what did you do to us? Okay, so today is story time, and today's story is about a man called Sorrow. It's crazy, but that was his name. That was his name from the parents. Can you imagine? That's because some people don't really care when they name their children. When I don't know. I don't think not caring, but anyway, that's who we're talking about today, y'all. So I am just slightly editing stuff and getting right into it. Getting right into Mr. Sorrow. Who is Mr. Sorrow? How does he get the name Sorrow? And why did the parents actually name him Sorrow? That's where we are today. Hi guys, welcome to Building Flags. I decided to add story time Building Flags because I can be stretching 1 hour every day. I actually want to start making stretching, at least stretching lives 2 times a week. So let me know if you guys are up for that. Just comment down below. Yeah, we could have story time 4 times a week, and then we have stretching classes 2 times a week, and that's it. So let me know. Truth or dare? We are not here for truth or dare. Okay, truth, go. Just giving you guys a short Before we start, before we get into the story, I am from Africa. I am not AI. That's the truth. Do I look like AI? I am not AI. And my accent is so bad for actually being AI. Because artificial intelligence, I feel like they have like perfect kind of accent. They're accurate when they're speaking. I'm mostly eating my words and playing with them here and there. So no, I am not AI. Just joking, yo. I'm not AI, mates. I'm a human being. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Can I shake for you? We are here for stories, not here for dancing. I actually wanted to. Oh, let me take some drink. Now that proves I'm not AI because I'm taking water and I just coughed. So, what was it I was going to say? I didn't get it. It's gone. Forget it. The cough went with it. I've been in the snow all day today, so I'm a little bit under the weather. But I just drank something. But oof. And I am stiff today because I have not worked out, nothing, no stretching and nothing. Should be ashamed of myself, but I'm gonna do it right after the live. I come from Uganda, but I'm telling you right now, they do not speak like me. They do not speak like me. This is my own accent. I think it's just how I speak, even from my childhood. My tongue has always been that, like, yeah. But being calm, maybe they have that. Being beautiful, yes, they do have that. Xander, go away, mate. Pissing me off. Alright. We're gonna get right into this episode. So let me find some cute music for us for story time. I love, getting the right music for us. Chill. Where you relax and listen to me fully. Concentrate on the story. Brings you back to that. Tell us the best day in your life. The best day in my life. Let me see. Today was one of the best days of my life. I did something I've never done in my life. I went down the snow, when you slide. I don't know how they call that, but I sat on the thing and I was pushed and I went face down in the snow today. Ooh, it was so cold. The ice went into. That's why I'm coughing. I pray I don't get sick, yo. Somebody asked such a dumb question. You guys have so many. And look, I'm praying God help me keep my mouth like and concentrate on the stories, because sometimes you get me and I start going and then you want So what does hops have to do with this live, mate? Y'all look crazy. Dan says hates the snow. Actually, at first, I've not been here long, but I think I love it. It's white, it's clean. It's beautiful to my eyes. It's, beautiful. It's cold, yes, but when I fell in and started playing in it started getting interesting, actually. My body started releasing heat. When you're in a lot of coldness, your body releases heat to like supply heat all over your body. So it's more like fighting to make that heat up. So I loved that. I kind of got used to it. But I don't like sometimes when it's so cold. You go out and you're like, No, I just like go back in and like forget that day. God bless everybody out there. I'm not going, and I don't go. I just come back inside and stay in. Today I was forced and I enjoyed it actually. I didn't stay out for long though. I worked so hard, my hands hurt. Oh, thank you so much, Dare. Oh, thank you. Yes. So, I was thinking that sometimes we could stretch while I tell a story, but I feel like I'll concentrate on the stretching. That's my problem. When I'm stretching, I want to give it my all. So, I love breathing and relaxing, but when it is good to tell a story though while you stretch, because you'll take your mind off the stretch and do not like think a lot about it. Alright, let's get right into this episode. I tried to answer some of the questions before we started. Yep. I come from Africa. It's hot. It's a warm. It's just warm and welcoming. So I hate it. I hate the coldness, but I don't hate snow. But I hate the coldness. Am I pregnant? Do I look pregnant? Do not scare me, mate, to take a test. Do not scare me to take. You know what? And I just had a dream last night when I am pregnant. So do not ask me those questions, because now you see you're gonna make my BP go high. Don't ask those questions. Skip those questions. I'm not pregnant for what I know right now. So I'm not pregnant. Yeah. No, I'm not pregnant. Thank you. It's so chilly. It's so warm, actually. Like, really warm. That's the reason I love it. Stretched in it real quick and jumped in bed without it, so I had to put it on tonight because I have laundry packed for me too. And I am ignoring it. Like, I'm passing it every single day. So I really need to get myself together on that. Because I'm here though. That's why. I hold my belly like I'm pregnant. I don't know, mate. I'm not pregnant. Get away from me. Do I look like... So the problem is you guys make me look like so many different people. So I don't even know. But I don't look like anyone. I look like myself. But thank you. Oh, I'm not from the UK. I've never been there. I've never stepped a foot there. I don't know what happens in that country. Alright, let's get started. So, today's story is about a boy named Sorrow. And this is his story. This is how it starts. Let me find some chilling music for us to like cool and just like relax. I'm gonna relax back and I'm gonna tell a story to you guys and you're gonna listen to it and you're gonna like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Don't piss me off. Do that right now. It's a command. Okay, let's see. Meditate. No, we don't want that. Maybe that. I love this dude. He has no copyright on his music and it's really dope. He's called Liborio Conte. Yeah, he's an amazing one. Okay, let's get started. Look, you got a pathway to leave. If it's boring, The hell? What makes you think I'm gonna come here and just like, if you're bored, by the way, leave before we even get started. Don't piss me off. Y'all have started hyping me, pissing me off. So, if it's boring, you're called to leave, by the way. It's okay to leave. But if you want to stay and get tired with me, just do it. Welcome. We started with so many stories. We just started with so many stories. Yeah, today no yoga. So live stretches are strictly on Sundays that are for 1 hour, but I post stretches too every day. So that's why story time is every day. So that we are tired and go to bed after. Alright, let's get right into this episode. So, once upon a time, there was a boy named Sorrow. But before Sorrow was, are you listening? Before Sorrow was parents of Sorrow. And there were two parents, a man and a woman, who got married in love, and they decided to give birth to a baby. They planned it, and the woman got pregnant. But when the woman got pregnant, things started to change in the house. They chased the man away from his workplace. He was working in a good office, and as soon as the woman got pregnant, he was fired from the office for no reason, and they started suffering. So the man started looking for work and no one was hiring him, started looking for work and no one was hiring him, and the pregnancy is starting to grow slowly and slowly and slowly. And the mother, and you know how pregnant women be. When someone is pregnant, there are things that happen like mood swings, like having different tastes, having smell, or smelling things they don't like just like certain behaviors, because there are hormonal changes when you get pregnant, and there is a human growing into your body. So the woman, because of poverty coming in, the woman started feeling bad. She started hating the pregnancy, and the father also started hating the pregnancy. And I'll tell you right now, when kids are still in their mother's womb, they can hear everything. That's why like people speak to children, but when the child is still in the belly, they can hear anything. So when the woman started hating the child, and the man started hating even the pregnancy more, because he lost his job and like he has nothing to give, to bring home for the wife to eat, and then they start chasing them in the house where they were living. A month went by and they couldn't pay the month because he was fired from where he was working, and the woman started feeling sick. He could get sick, but there was no money to take her to the hospital. The woman started hating her life. She started to curse the pregnancy. She was like, if I wasn't pregnant, I would go. If it's not for you, I would be out there working for myself. If it was not for you, I would not be married to this poor man, And the kid is hearing everything. So the kid, I'll tell you right now, when you're pregnant, be careful the words that you speak out. And even men, be careful when you speak these words when a woman is pregnant, because this child is hearing everything that is happening. Because the spiritual world, this kid is still, like a baby, but they can hear. That's why like there are some things that happen when a baby is born and you're like, oh, we did that when the baby was pregnant. Like, if you're a dancer, people who dance a lot when they're pregnant, a kid comes out when they love music. If you're like it's just how it is, because you're feeding the baby. Whatever you're doing, you're feeding the baby too. So it's not just about solid food. So the child understood that the parents hated him. So from the belly, the baby knew that he was hated. So things started getting worse. They hated each other in the house, but they had to be together. I think part of love kept them together, but because of what was happening, they started hating on each other. So the man started looking for work, and he could find like jobs to work in a farm, and he could start like digging and planting food for people, and then he could bring something home. And so they were in that kind of struggling. They struggled. They sent them out of the house they were renting, and they were told to leave without anything. So they had to leave, yet the woman is about to conceive, but they had to leave. So they started sleeping in unfinished house. It was a warehouse, but it was unfinished. So they laid there and they stayed there. And this is what happened. Before the baby was born, the man goes to look for something to do, like a job in a farm, to do something so that he brings something home for the woman to eat. And he gets an accident. When he gets an accident, he does not come back home. When the man does not come back home, the woman thinks the man has left him. And she was living in a warehouse. She had no one. She was just a one child where she comes from. She was born just one, and she had lost her parents. So she was just living a lonely life. The husband was half family, and then the baby in the womb. So a day passed by and the man did not come back. Second day passed by and the man did not come back. The third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day. So the woman started getting afraid, because she is about to deliver and then there is no one to take care of her. So she started coming to people and asking them for anything she can do around the house so that she can find something to eat for the baby. So she could come around the neighbors, like people who were surrounding that warehouse, and she could wash clothes for them and they could pay her. She could do their laundry. Sometimes she could do the dishes. Whatever work that was given to her, she would do, and she was heavy. And she started doing that day by day, day by day. And sometimes they would actually say, we don't have anything. So she could go back home with nothing, but not home in this warehouse. And this warehouse belonged to a certain man. But when he came and found this woman alone and pregnant, she decided to just leave her there. She was like, it's okay, just stay, but we will be finishing this warehouse pretty soon. And she says, it's okay, I'll stay to protect, so that, people do not come and throw trash in and things like that. Finding excuses for, to have a place where she can lay her head. And then time came, she was in the house and she started feeling labor pains coming. When she started feeling labor pains coming, she started walking out of the warehouse to go to one of the neighbors where she was doing a job, to ask her to take her to the hospital. When she came screaming and screaming in pain. She's like, please help me. I think the baby is here. And the woman was kind, so the woman decided to drive her to take her to the hospital. When the woman drove her and took her to the hospital, she said, I'm gonna stay here for tonight, but then tomorrow I have to go back to my family. And she said, I'm so grateful that you brought me here. But remember, she has no one. Now, she does not have any cloth for the baby. She does not have anything prepared for the baby. And when the women are pregnant, they prepare for the babies. They have to prepare for clothes, they have to prepare for bed sheets, like to cover their babies. This woman had nothing. So this woman who had taken her to the hospital, she felt pity for her. She saw a woman who she has known working for her and heavy, and she knows that she sleeps in a warehouse. But because she was pretty, she says she was scared to bring her around the house. She did not want anything to ruin her marriage. So she said, yeah, I can't bring you in my house. But you know what? I'm gonna buy some things for you, baby. So I'm just like gonna buy some important things. And these people who lived close to the warehouse, they were not wealthy, they were also poor. So if anything, she was just like removing from what she has. So she bought 2 bed sheets and she gave to this woman. She said, start your life there, but I cannot help you too because I'm also hustling with the children. You see, my children are also at home most of the times. They're not at school because we are also poor. And she asked, where did your husband go? Did he go to work somewhere? And she says, no, he left us. But because she doesn't know what happened, so she thinks she was left. So she reaches the hospital and she reaches to actually deliver. She feels the pain, but the kid is not coming out. She feels the pain, the kid refuses to come out. So the doctor started injecting her like medicine for pain labor so that she can go in labor. They started injecting her and nothing. She could feel pain, but the baby could refuse to come out. So it went to days. So this poor woman who had brought the woman to the hospital asked and said, did you guys see the woman come back here? The woman who lives like in the warehouse? And they were like, no, we haven't seen her in a while. And she goes back to the hospital to ask the doctors where the woman went. When she goes back to the hospital, she finds the woman still in the hospital. And she's like, what is going on? And the woman is crying. She's like, I don't know what's happening, but the baby has refused to come out. It is time, but the baby has refused to come out. And it had been a week past the baby not coming out. So the pain had stopped and the baby had stopped to move. So the doctors said, you know what, we've kept her here for 1 week and there are no payments. I think it's time you take her somewhere else. And the woman is like, look, you guys, I do not know this woman and I'm just here to help too. Look, she has nothing. Please just help her. Like, what's going? The doctors are like, okay, we are going to help her, but just bring more money, bring the money, pay the money for when she has stayed in the hospital and pay the money for the rest of the time she's going to stay here, because we don't know when she's going to stay here. We don't know what's happening. And they're like, maybe she's bewitched, you know. With Africans, she was like, maybe she's, you know, there are dark powers behind it because she's past a week and she cannot deliver, and she says the pain stopped and she cannot feel the baby inside. So the woman cried. This poor woman said, you know what, I'm gonna be bringing you food every single day. I don't know what to do for you, but you know what, let's just pray. Let's just pray for the baby to come out. So but when they go, so she went back home and she took the money for her child that she was supposed to pay for the baby to go to school, and she brought it in the hospital to pay the date and to help this woman stay in the hospital until she actually delivers the child. So when she brought them that money, the woman was so grateful, but she was still crying. She's like, I don't know what's happening. Maybe the baby died. And they said, okay, we are going to take a scan and see what is going on. So the doctors take the woman in a scan to check for the baby, to see what is going on. And when they take her in the hospital, they check and they say the baby is inside. He is okay. There is a child. She's like, so what is going on? They're like, we don't know. So they took her back to stay and said they taught her to do some exercises to see if they'll help, like walking around, walking back and forth like that. She started doing what the doctors are telling her so that the baby is born, and it refuses. It goes back to the second week when she is like that. It goes back to a third week. When it goes to a third week, the poor woman gives up and she says, I have used everything that I have. I cannot help you anymore. I'm sorry. I have to start working for my children. I've been coming here almost every other day to see that you're doing well. And the woman cries and says, you know what, it's okay. I am grateful, you've done enough. And then the hospital tells her that we have given you 3 days. 3 days and you'll have to leave the hospital. That is how harsh people are. But you don't blame the doctors, because this is not their hospital. There are people above them that ask questions, that need their money at the end of the month. The calculations have to be, you know, everything has to be in the right state. And this woman didn't have anything. So she cried and she said, God, what have I ever done to be in this situation? The kid is past 3 weeks. And it's not a joke. 3 weeks. And the baby is not coming out. I came here in labor pains and they just stopped. And the baby is not moving. They don't show any sign of movement. So I don't know. But so she starts crying. And when she cries, she asks God and she says, Lord, the father of the child left us. I don't know what I'm going to do. She says, in 3 days, if this baby does not come out, I'm actually going to go and throw myself in a car. That's what she says. So when she says that, she prayed, but she complained too. So when she slept, she had a dream when they're arguing with the husband. And they were arguing, I don't like you, like, why would you get pregnant? You got pregnant and I lost my job. So the man was complaining, you got pregnant and I lost my job. I cannot do anything. And she's like, I hate that baby. I hate that baby, in a dream. And then the woman goes on the side, still in the dream, and she says, you baby, I hate you. You've brought me a lot of pain and sorrow. I hate you. And then she wakes up. When she wakes up, she hears a voice that speaks to her. In her heart, it says, the baby is not coming out because you said you hated it and you don't need it to come out. So speak to the baby and command the baby to come out. Tell the baby that you love it and it needs to come out. Now, this is not a joke, you guys. These things happen. That's why be careful what you say around pregnancy, about a pregnant woman, cursing a pregnant woman, or things like that. The baby can hear it and they actually refuse to come out. So the reason the baby had actually refused to, because one thing you don't understand, when the baby comes out, because they are feeling pain too. So they are pushing to come out of that pain. So the pain is not only on mothers when they're giving birth. A woman is feeling pain, yes, it is intense, but even the baby is feeling pain. So the reason the baby comes out, it's because the baby is also pushing to come out and come out of that pain. So two people are in pain. That's why they're called, I don't know how they call them. That's why there is pain when the woman is giving birth. So the woman knew what the problem was. So when she woke up, and remember she was given 3 days. So after 1 day, she had a dream on the second day after she actually prayed. But she didn't know who she was praying to, because she didn't know. But she just said God, because people say, God, you know. So she's like, maybe there is a God. Let me just pray and try this God and see. if actually he exists. So she did that and she actually got an answer. So she started praying, she started talking to the baby. She was like, you baby, I am sorry that I said I hate you. I am sorry that I said I wish I did not have you. I'm sorry for what your dad said upon you. I love you so much, and please, please help me and come out. And that's what she said to the baby. And that night, she started feeling the pain she felt when she walked in the hospital. And when she started crying and crying, the doctors came and were like, what is going on? The nurses that were on, they were used to her. They were like, it's this pregnant woman who is not actually delivering the baby. So when they came, they were all shocked. They were like, what's going on? Oh my God, the baby is coming, the baby is coming. So the baby started to come out, and the baby came out. And the baby came out. But when the baby comes out, because the woman is still bitter, because the woman is still bitter and she doesn't know where to go, she asked the doctors that, how am I going to pay for the rest of the bill? Because the poor woman had paid for the rest of things. She was out of everything and she stayed at home, so she couldn't do more than that. So the doctor said, she spoke to us, it's okay, just go. That's what they told her. They said, it's okay, just go. So she came back home with the baby and she sat down and she said, you have brought me a lot of sorrow. Excuse me, says, you have brought me a lot of sorrow. I am going to name you Sorrow. And that's how this boy is named Sorrow. The mom's bitterness and pain made her name the child Sorrow. So she started living there, and then she started still coming to these houses and asking for what to do for them. She did laundry, and then the baby started growing too, slowly as she grows too. And then there is a certain woman who gave her a room. She had like small rooms that she was giving people to rent, and she gave her like one of the smallest rooms that had just cut of timber, just timber in that, and it just like put little a window in a small house, and like told them, be there, but you're going to be paying me 20,000 shillings a month. And she said, okay, I'll look for that. So she started looking for that money while she's doing what she's supposed to do. So she was doing the dishes and doing laundry, and then she could tell Sorrow to do the dishes, so Sorrow could help with some of the work. So Sorrow starts working with the mom so that they can pay rent, but sometimes they would have nothing to eat. Sometimes the mom would bring beans at home and they are spoiled, you know, beans that have taken a long time and they have like ants in them. And she would say to Sorrow, don't mind the ants, they're nutritious, they're going to give you nutrition, that's why you're strong. So she says, when you're chewing the beans, do not listen to the taste, just swallow it, just swallow it. And Sorrow could eat the beans, but they could have lots of worms in them. But he says he could eat them and he could swallow them without actually feeling them because he was hungry. That's why we need to be grateful, y'all, for food. Every single day we have to be grateful, like with what you have, even the food that you have in the morning for breakfast, lunch and dinner. The people who only have like one meal a day, those who don't even see the meal in a day. So Sorrow starts a life like that, and he grows to 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. So when he was 9 years, when they were coming out of one place where they were cleaning and getting something to eat and money for rent, the mom got an accident. So they were on the side and the car was coming. It was meant to hit Sorrow, but the mom pushed Sorrow away and it just knocked her and she fell down. But it wasn't like a big accident. So when the mom fell down, she did not feel great, but she was okay. So the Sarah said, "Mom, are you okay?" She was like, "It's okay. Let's go home. We don't have money to go to the hospital." But Sarah was like, "Please, let's go to the hospital." It was like, "We don't have money to go." And when the car knocked this woman down, it just drove off and ran. You guys, what does that teach us? We need to be kind. When you knock someone over or you do something like an accident, when it is your fault, actually accept it's your fault and take care of the, of the accident. Take care of everything that has happened. So this person, instead of helping this woman, asking, "Are you okay? Should we go to the hospital and check you?" They just drove off. And Sorrow picked up his mom and they started going back to their small house. When they started going back to their small house, they had failed to pay the rent for 2 months. And they found this woman at the door and she had closed the door. And when they came in, the mom said, "Oh, hi, I'm happy to see you." The woman is like, "Do not say you're happy to see me because I am not happy to see you. You have not paid my rent. This is the cheapest offer I've given you and you've not paid it. I need you guys to leave." And starts crying, "I have a child, please have mercy on me." And the woman starts saying words like, "No, I've given you time, I've taken care of you, I gave you this house, I made it so cheap for you so that you can afford it with the child. What kind of woman are you? Where is the father of that child?" You know, people say a lot of things, when these things happen, people say a lot of things. The people who are not kind, you guys, we need to be kind to people who are lacking. Passing by a homeless person and you just, yell at them, "Go work, go freaking work, get out of my face." Things like that are not good. We need to be kinder to people who are suffering because you never know, you might be in that same situation the next day, because life just turns abruptly. Like life has a way of teaching us lessons, I'll say. So if you're not kinder, there is something that could happen to you and it could remind you of like the days you were not kind. So a little kindness is very important in the life where we are in. You see a child lacking food, give them something you're eating because you're gonna eat later. Maybe you have some money. If you just want lunch and you see a child passing on the streets naked, give them your coat, and then go back home and buy another one. If you can, and it's in your, like you have enough money and you can take care of someone, you can help an orphan who just lost a father or a mother. It's just like a little bit of kindness that I am pushing there to people to understand that a little kindness does not kill but actually saves a lot. It could save you or your grandchildren in future because you don't know what the future brings. So the woman starts screaming at the mom, "Go, you need to get out of my house. Let me not find you on my door today. You're leaving. Get the hell out. I do not want to find you here. You disgust me with your son. Where did the father of that son go? He left you, didn't he? Because you're useless." There is asking for what you've come for, but there is also adding a pile of words on someone who is lacking. It's not necessary. I've actually come to a realization recently. Before I bring out a word, before I start actually going back and forth with someone, I think about how they would feel, how they would take those words. Because one thing about words, they stay in someone's heart. You can blow someone's face or blow someone's eye and they forget it. But the words, if you speak a word to someone, even the Bible says that words we create things with our own words. Like the tongue is the most important thing that you could ever have on your body. So use it wisely and be careful with it. If you speak to someone a word and you tell them, you know what, you are cursed, that thing is not going to ever leave. They might pretend like they did not hear you, but when they leave, they're going to think about it. They're going to have sleepless nights because of it. So I'm just saying, be careful when you're angry. Even if someone is in fault, think about them first. I know that's a way you might not understand that, but that's how I'm actually trying to better myself. I'm like, when I'm so mad and someone pissed me off, even if it's their fault, I think about what I'm going to say to them and what effect it's going to lie on their lives. And I decide to be quiet or change what I was about to say. And that right there has changed my life a lot. I found myself that I'm not in so many arguments like before. Before, I could take you up and down, I throw you left and right. I just make your life miserable the entire night. But now, and I thank God, because I asked him, I was like, help me, help me. And then he's been doing a good job. I'm not perfect. There are times it slips out and I just go. But I am still working on it. So I'm just like saying, there, y'all. Think about your words. So this woman was angry because this woman has not paid her rent and she made it as cheap as it can. She was nice. She helped them. But now she is insulting them, and then she is also bringing out things that are not necessary. And she tells them, do not enter the house. If I find you on my door, I'm actually going to beat you up with your baby. So Sorrow looks to the mom and says, Mom, what have we ever done? Where is my dad? Where is my dad? Where did my dad go? Why are we suffering? Did dad die or something? And she says, no. So where did my dad go? All the children have dads. But because of this woman's words, they made the child start questioning the mom where the dad is. And the mom says, your dad left us. Your dad left us, so I need you to shut up and we start moving. And so because she's angry, she starts yelling at Sorrow and she's like, start moving, let's go. And then Sorrow is like, where should we go? She says, start walking. I don't know, let's go. We're moving on the streets, let's go. So they started walking and she's crying and Sorrow is like, Mom, why are you crying? Stop crying, Mom. And she's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. You're the reason why I'm suffering. So instead of like comforting Sorrow, she started like blaming the child, and the child felt small and smaller and smaller and smaller. And they started walking, and then they ended up on one of the streets, and they were tired and exhausted. They had nothing to eat, they had nothing to drink. So they sat down on the street. The mom tells Sorrow to sit down, and then she could remove her cloth that she had on, and then she could cover Sorrow with that cloth while Sorrow is lying on her thighs on the street. And they could just stay there, and the mom could continuously cry, and it's like, what did I do, God? What did I do? Do you see that? When you are in a situation, instead of starting to ask questions, pray. And prayer is different from complaining. I'll show you a prayer in such a situation. You can say, God, I thank you because I am still alive, but me and my child don't have where to sleep. Please, I know you can provide. I pray that you provide to us this and this and this. That is a prayer that will actually reach straight. But when a prayer, now this is not a prayer. God, why did you create me like this? Why did you create me? Why am I poor? Why am I the one who loses? Why am I the one who goes last every day? Why am I? So the why questions need to stop when you're in such situations, because the why questions actually, they're not prayers. So the mom was complaining instead of like saying the right words, but because she was in sorrow, you can't blame her. I've been in that spot of my life where I'm like, why? Why and why and why? Are you there? Like, God, are you there? Like, did you forget about me? Like, I'm here. Look at me. So many people reach in that time of their lives and they're like, I think God forgot about me. He sees everyone in the world but not me. I'm invisible in his eyes. But trust me, you're not. So she cries and she just complains and complains and complains and complains. And then she leaves Sora sleeping and she says, rest here. I'm going to go and find us something to eat. They had spent a week without having anything to eat. So she went out to find something to eat. When she left, she did not come back. Sorrow sat on the streets and waited for the mother to return. A night went by, a day went by, a second day went by, a third day went by, to a week. And the mom is not coming back. It goes back to 2 weeks, the mom is not coming back. 3 weeks, the mom is not coming back. 4 weeks, the mom is not coming back. A month, the mom is not coming back. So Sarah is scared and she says, Mom left me. I don't know what to do now. So he says, he starts running on the streets and stealing. That is the only job. You men who leave your children, and I've witnessed this in so many homes. Most people do not steal because boys, like children on the streets, they do not steal because it's a behavior. It's a behavior is something that develops. So a behavior develops because of a situation that a child is forced to be in. So because a child is lacking, they have nothing to eat, they have nowhere to sleep. If they see money or a jacket or your food, or so, they will come and steal it because they are not thieves naturally, but they are forced because of the situation. There's so many things that happen to people. They do things not because they want to do those things. They do those things because they have no choice, and that is the only chance that they have. Doesn't make it a good behavior. No, it's not a good behavior, but it's up to parents out there, men who leave their women at home, their children, and they leave and they let the responsibility sit on a woman. I just talked in the last previous episode that when the father of the house leaves the house, there is no protection. Anything comes in. So when a woman is put down, when a woman is struggling, there is no one looking after a child. So the child is meant to certain behaviors and even things that happen to them. So this was Sarah. He did not steal because he wanted to steal, says. He started stealing because he saw something to eat. So he could wait for when someone is passing by, like on the streets, because it's streets and people are packed up. So he could come slowly and slowly, and then he touches into a woman's bag or a man's bag and pulls anything he could. He says he could target the wallets because in wallets, most people keep their money in wallets. So he could go and grab like a wallet or anything like that, and he takes off and he runs so that he can find something to eat. Because he was eating on the garbage, where on trash cans where like people throw food, that's where he could go and get food. So he could go and grab things that are left in, and he was used to it because they were eating beans that had ants in them. So he was used to it. So he started stealing. He could steal anything. Like we said, stealing is an action, but an action can result into a behavior. A behavior is a repetition of an action. Like Stealing, for example, you do it once. When you steal, it's not a behavior, it's an action. You stole. But the more you do it, it becomes a behavior. And when a behavior develops in someone, it can be actually hard to stop or bring it out. So, Sorrow started stealing. He started stealing food. He started going to people's homes when they have left food on their charcoal stove outside. He could go and grab food from there and take off and go into any house that's unfinished, sits and eats. And then he runs. So he lived that life of running on the streets for like 4 years. And one day when he was stealing, he came like every day. There is this man who was standing and he was buying shoes. And he had his wallet close to him, but it was in a tight jean. So by then, Sorrow was 13 years old. 19, let me check. Yeah, he was 13 years old. So he came to steal the wallet from this man. But the man was standing and he was facing the left side. And Sorrow was coming from the right and he wanted to steal the wallet from the left side. So he says when he came, he was scared, but he put his hand over to the left side. The man was watching him. When he came and he was planning everything he planned, the man was watching him come. The man was watching him walk around, targeting him and finding where he could snatch what he had. So he came and he placed his hand over to snatch it and take off immediately. The moment he went to put his hand, the man held his hand like that and said, "You are the boys that steal from us every single day? Yes, you're the boy." And he started calling, "I've caught a thug, I've caught a thief, the small trot his hair." And then they come and like they start beating him up. The man gives him slaps, blows, and then he kicks his legs over down and he falls down on the road and they start beating him. They say he's a child, they don't care. They don't care why he's stealing. They think it's just street kids. But I'm telling you right now, the reasons those kids are doing what they're doing is because of situations. I feel like in situations like that, you help those kids. But people say that it's hard to help a child who has grown. But for me, just saying, this is a child. You could still like save them. So they beat him until they were tired. And he was left there close to his death. He stayed there and he cried. He says he felt every bone in his body stiff. He couldn't move his legs. He couldn't move his arms. He could not even lift his eyes to see anyone who was standing in front of him. And they left him on the street and everyone went their way. But the people who beat this child, they all have children in their houses. They all have sisters who have children. They're all children where they come from. But we forget. This is the thing that we forget. We forget that we have ever been children too. When we see children, we look at them as other people's property and we forget they are children. They are still innocent, even if they're going through something. So instead of like saying it's none of my business, like I always say, I think it's very important to step in when you find a child in a situation. Find a children doing prostitution, a child, and you buy them and you go enjoy. Look, you go enjoy yourself with a child. Come on, stop playing. So this at least help them. Take them when you're trying to help them, not when you're trying to, use them. People being in certain, this is the thing. People use people for their own benefit. This is the thing. What am I gaining in it? If I help that child, that's on my child. So if you help your child and they end up taking their own path and they don't care about you, I'm not saying do not take care of your children. All I'm saying is that if you find a child caught up in a situation like that, help them instead of like being the one to finish their hope. That's all I'm saying. So Sarah stays there and no one comes even close to check that how is this boy doing. But because God is good, there is an old woman who was passing by and she saw a child lying down covered in blood, and she walked over and she started calling to the boy, and she says, boy, are you okay? But the boy was not breathing. So the woman gets the boy and asks for a man to come and help and says, can you help me carry my child home? This is what she says. Can you help me carry my child home? And Sorrow is hearing everything, but he cannot do anything. He cannot lift a muscle, like he's bait to his point. So they had taught him a lesson that day. A behavior had grown in him, but it had to be stopped somehow. And that actually did it stop it. And the woman carries the child and she puts her in her car and she takes Sorrow in her home. She starts treating the boy. They treat the boy's wounds and all that, and then Sorrow comes back to being a child again and alive. And he cries and thanks the old woman and says, thank you so much for what you've done for me. I'll not forget you, but I have nowhere to sleep. Can I stay here and work for you? Just give me anything. I'll do anything. And the woman says, it's okay. Do you go to school? He says, no, I've never gone to school at all. The woman says, you know what? I am going to take you to school. But it's not a normal school. It's a school for just intelligent children. Do you want to be intelligent? The boy says yes. Do you want to be prosperous? The boy says, yeah, I want to. And she says, okay, so I'm gonna give you time and I'll be telling you again what to do, and I'll come for you and take you to a place that you're supposed to go. But she says to him, there is a man that is going to visit you, and when that man visits you and you see that man, time will have come. And Sarah didn't know what the woman was leading to. He said, okay, that's fine. Like, which man is going to come to me? And she says, don't worry, they will just come to you. And he says, okay. So time went by. Sarah started cleaning around the house and helping the woman around, and the woman was giving him food, was taking care of him. So life has changed for Sarah. He feels good, he feels happy, he feels relieved. He's like, whew. So the woman asks, where is your mother and your dad? Sarah says, I've never had a mom, I've never had a dad, because he does not even want to remember that the mom left him. So he says, I don't have any of them. So the old woman says, oh, did they die? He says, they died when I was little. She says, okay. So, hi guys, how are you doing? You're listening to Sarah's story. Yep. I'll be reading those later. So, Sarah starts waiting for the man that the old woman is telling him. But Sarah sees these things happen in this old woman's house. As Sorrow, one day Sorrow was coming from fetching water. He comes and he finds when it's raining in their own place and their garden. And he says, I came from there and there was no rain. Why is it raining just here and just our garden? And the old woman says, maybe God loves us. That's what he says. And Sarah says, okay, so it only rains here? She says, no, it rains everywhere, but today it has rained here. So Sarah starts doubting and it's like, how comes it rains here? Like, why is it raining just here? He was a curious boy, so he started asking questions. Why is it raining here? And the old woman says, stop asking, I told you. So one night, as Sarah was moving in the house, he comes and he finds the old woman outside. And it was around, so there were other children in this old woman's house. When Sarah comes, he finds like 5 to 6 children, but there were not only those, some had left and they were still coming back. So they were together. So he started asking them, what do you think they're doing? So this old woman was with other women, and they had come to her place, and it was night, it was late in the night. And Sarah says that this woman was old, but she was the first one to wake up in the morning, and she was the last one to go to bed. He says he has never seen the old woman sleep. He has never caught the old woman sleep. So, but he doesn't care. All he cares about, he has a place to eat, to sit, to sleep, and something to eat. So that night, it was a full moon. The moon was full, and this woman was with other women. And when they were outside, the woman was old during the day. She was very old, and she was like bending slightly, like, you know, when you're old and like your posture is falling in during the day. He saw that. So he sees this woman at this time. The woman is actually standing straight, and he says, how is grandma standing, you know, straight with strength? Okay, if I can bring it out like that, because she is weak, but now she's standing so strong. Well, what is the science behind her standing so strong? But he doesn't care. He says, okay. So there were all 6 children were looking through a hole in the door, and they think they're sleeping because she told them to go to sleep. So they think the children are sleeping, but actually they are here looking at them. And this is what happens. They are looking through a small window, the hole at the door, and everyone is like, let me see. You know, children, they're curious. They're like, let me see, what's going on? So they're looking, she's like, I see grandma, what is she doing? She's with other women. They're drawing down a circle and a pyramid in it, like, I don't know, a pentagon, yeah, and a circle. And she's like, really, what is that? I don't know, they're just like drawing circles and all that. And everyone was like talking and like looking through the window, the door, but through the hall, and they see them. So this is what happens when they are watching. They see them start taking turns, running around and around and around, going left, going right, like circling. And he's like, oh my God, come and see, grandma is running more than them. Come and see, she's running, she's beating all of the women. So Sarah says that he thinks that they're racing in the night. He says that he thinks they're just racing. So That's why he was saying that she is running, she's overtaking everyone. So everyone wanted to see. They were all on the door seeing them. So they were running so fast, running in circles. And it started getting a little faster and faster and faster and faster in a weird way. And as it went faster, they all disappeared. All of them. It started with the grandma, she disappeared, and then the rest of them disappeared. Only one woman stayed back. I think who was the priest. So, the priest is the one who stayed back. But Sarah's grandmother, or the woman who had picked Sarah up from the street, and the other women, they all had disappeared. So they get scared because they're children. When they get scared, this woman realizes that they were watching, so she runs back in and she says, "Why are you here? You guys don't listen. We told you to go sleep." And like, she was yelling at them and she was like beating them up, and she's like, "Go back to sleep, go back to sleep. You're not supposed to be outside, and do not come out when we don't tell you to come out." And he sent them back home in their room. So everyone went in their rooms, but Sarah was scared. He said, "What is this? Where did they go?" You know, as children. So they went to sleep, and it came morning, and Sarah came and asked the grandmother and said, "Hey, we saw you last time when you were racing. You're very strong, grandma. We saw you racing and you were taking all over those women." And the woman says, "Yeah, and what else did you see?" And he says, "You also disappeared." And she says, "Why did you come out?" And he says, "I saw others sneaking through and like looking, so I came to see how you were running first." And she says, "Okay, so tomorrow morning we are going to go somewhere." Because Sarah was the one pushing these kids, because before he came, these kids were listening. They were not coming close to anything. When they told them, they listened, they stayed back. But him, he did not listen for some reason. So the grandmother said, "You know what? If you do not listen to me, I'm actually going to take you back to the streets." And he says, "Okay." And he says, "Did that man come yet?" And he says, "No, I haven't seen anyone." So this woman plans to take Sarah on a trip tomorrow. So they wake up in the morning and they do what they're supposed to do. But again, in the village, they were prosperous. She was the one who was like prosperous, but it only rained in her farm and her house. So the place where, in that small city where they were, people were calling her a witch. When he started hearing that, he was like, "Why are they calling you a witch, grandma?" It's like they're jealous of our wealth, you know? They're jealous of our wealth, so that's why they call me names like that. And he didn't care. So every time like they say that, the kids would say it around the village, "Oh, witch, they come from a witch place," and all that. "Your grandmother is a witch," and saying to him, and he's like, "No, he's not, she's not," and all that. So he started thinking, and he's like, "I don't know." So one of the friends, they were going out with like playing as children outside. He had made friends. One of them took Sarah to a certain church. And when Sarah went to that church, they were still children. But when Sarah went to that church, he loved the church. He loved what they were doing. They were preaching to them and like telling them Bible stories. And they could like praise and like everything that happens to church. And then Sarah comes back and the woman asks, where did you go today? And he says, I went to church. My friend took me to church and we went and they started telling us stories in the Bible. And then we were playing and we were singing and we were dancing. It was so fun. Can I go on Sunday? They say they have a party. They were going to actually have a Holy Communion. Yeah. So they were going to have a Holy Communion. So this woman says to Sarah that you're never going to step there again. Those are our enemies. Those are our enemies. That's what she says to him. Those are enemies. Do not ever go back there again. If I ever see you there again, I'm taking you back where you come from. So Sarah was bothered. She was like, how are they our enemies? Like, but he did not ask questions because he knew his place. So he started crying because he really wanted to go. And children, so he just started crying because he was so hungry because they refused him to go. But they tell this grown woman, this boy had a purpose. They brought this boy over for a purpose. So when she went to pick this boy up, she knew that she was picking up this boy before she even picked the boy up. There was a purpose for this boy that they wanted to use him for a certain thing. But he did not know. So he just looks at this woman for help. So Sarah cries and he plans to sneak because the grandmother could leave during the day, go anywhere he didn't know, and then she could come back in the evening. So that Sunday he sneaks and he goes to the Holy Communion that day. When he goes to the Holy Communion, they have a Holy Communion, he has fun, he prays, and then he runs and he comes back home before the woman comes back. But then the woman was told that Sarah had left and gone to church by whatever she was worshiping. So when Sarah came back home, the woman was home fast. And Sarah said, I'm so sorry. He started apologizing immediately. He was like, I'm so sorry. They came for me, so I couldn't refuse. I had to go. And she said, did I refuse you to go there? She said, yeah, you refused me. I am so sorry. Please, I'm so sorry. Please don't chase me out. So the woman said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. Tonight, I'm going to take you to a place that I told to take you because you don't listen. So it's going to cause problems. And he says, what problem? He says, the other man won't come to you. And he says, okay, so where are we going? He says, don't worry, we'll go at night. So the day goes by and night comes. And this woman goes and picks Sarah up. He wakes her up, wake up, we're going. And it was late, it was like so late, like at 12 to 1 a.m. So they went out, and Sarah says that they started walking and walking and walking and walking through a road that took them to a certain place. As they were walking and walking, he started seeing like things that looked like graveyards. So he got scared because he's a child, and she told him, do not be scared. This is where we're going. That's how the man that I told you about, that's how he's going to show himself to you. So they started walking along graveyards, and they started walking in graveyards and going and going and going and going until they reached the last graveyard. When they reached that specific graveyard, Sarah started getting scared, and the woman started saying, actually no, on the road as they were going, the woman was enchanting some words, but those words were the gateway. I think they were portals. She was opening portals as they were walking, so she was just speaking the things that the boy does not understand, but there were portals actually, and they were opening something. So she was opening her portals, and then they started walking and walking and walking and going. until they reached that place that I told you. When she reached that place that I told you, Sorrow was hearing everything. So the woman says that I have brought the child. And then the voice responds back that, what have you brought the child here for? And she says that you sent this child, you have a certain purpose for his life. And he says, yeah, the voice speaks to Sorrow and it says, you are a chosen one. We want to choose you to work for us. Are you ready to work for us? And Sorrow says, yeah, but he was scared, so he was like stuttering. He wasn't like straight with his words. So they started saying, you need to be straight with your words. And Sorrow started speaking. And so this image came out of that was in the voice, and it was his mom. And Sorrow is seeing his mom, who had left him for how many years back. And when he sees, he steps back and he shouts and screams. And the woman says, do not scream, do not be afraid. When you're afraid, you can actually lose your life. That's what the woman said. He was like, don't be afraid. When you're afraid, you're going to lose your life. So you're not supposed to be scared. So the voice says and speaks to him and says, there is a certain test that you have to pass before you start doing this for us. And he says, what test? He says that we'll tell you, but for now, we need you to stop going where you were going, at church, because those are our enemies. So Sorrow said, okay, because he was scared. So the woman catches Sorrow and they start leaving that place and coming back in the house. Sorrow is terrified, scared and scared. So when he reaches the room, he tells the other children, he's like, hey, she took me to this place and I saw my mom. My mom came out, and when she came out, she told me that I'm not supposed to go back to that place where I had gone. I'm not supposed to go back there, but I have to, there is a certain test. Did you guys take that test and all that? And these other girls are like, no. We don't know that. Like, we didn't even get a chance for that. Like, I don't know. We don't know what you're talking about. So Sarah says, okay, and they're like, which place? Tell us. So he tells everything. But the old woman had told Sarah to not like say anything. But Sarah said everything he saw, everything the body said. So they asked, do you think that's your mom? Did your mom die? And Sarah says, I lied to her, but my mom didn't die. My mom didn't just come back for me. So I don't think that my mom is dead. So what did you see? So they were like, I think it was her spirit. I think your mom died. So Sarah is starting to have this idea of like, my mom died. My mom just spoke to me. But the truth is, it wasn't. But he didn't know. So he started getting scared. So he chose to go to the place they refused him to go, to actually ask if they can help him. So he went and told them what had happened. He tells the friend tells the pastor, and the pastor says, oh my God, don't go back to that place. So they start like praying for the boy. And when they pray for the boy, he says, I don't want to go back there because I am so scared. And the pastor says, you can stay here if you want to. And he says, okay, I'm going to go pick my clothes and then I'm going to come back. So Sarah starts coming back. When he comes back, the woman is waiting for him in the house and he says, where did you go? He says, I just went out to walk around. He says, where did you go? Because you are going to lose yourself because you're playing in this. He says, but I don't want to do what they're telling me to do. I just don't want to. My mom is not dead. I saw my mom. My mom left me, but she's not dead. So the woman says, your mom is dead. Didn't you see her? She spoke to you. Your mom is dead. So Sarah says that he gets scared and he's like, there is a way like they could put fear in you. So like he had that fear of like, okay, my mom is dead, so what am I going to do now? So the woman says, you're not going anywhere because you already spoke to that man. So they already have your information. If you leave, you're going to die. Sarah says, okay, because he's a child, he's scared to die. So he stays and he says, what test do they want me to take? And he says, the woman says, I don't know, but make sure you're not scared while going through that test. Don't be scared at all, because that test has actually things in it that if you're scared, they can actually tear you apart. And Sorrow is like, what are those things? So the woman is trying, I think, to protect Sorrow, but then Sorrow is getting more scared because what is this? What is these things that I'm going to see? Like, are they monsters or something like that? The woman says, just wait. Maybe your test will not be as hard. And he says, okay. And he says, when is the day for testing? And the woman says it will be next week. So Sorrow doesn't know what to do. He's scared, but he's refused to go back to church. So the pastors wait for the child and the child does not come back. Sorrow stays with the old woman and the children. How are we doing? In the comments. Just trying to see comments, see if I can respond to anything, because I am through. How you guys doing? I love crossing my feet when I sit on this chair. Do you guys still up? What do you think happened to Sorrow? So the week comes for the testing and Sorrow says he's scared, but he doesn't know what to do. But they had taught Sorrow a prayer in church where he came from. Sorry. They taught Sorrow a prayer. So they had taught Sorrow this prayer. It is in Psalms chapter 91. Let me actually see if I can read that for you guys real quick. So, this is what it says. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I'll say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You'll only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I'll rescue him, I'll protect him, for he acknowledges my name. This is a prayer. This is the strongest prayer that you'll ever pray in your life when you're under attack, and also when you're in any situation, any deadly situation. Psalms 91, quote that, put it in your book, put it in your mind, what it says mostly in the beginning. That is so important. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He is my refuge and my fortress, in whom I trust. He will save you from the snow, from the fowler's snare, and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and his wings you will find refuge. So, because sorrow, and children, like for example, my cousins, I take care of them, by the way, so that's why I am on fire every single day here, so that I can find something to help them. So, Sorrow had caught this prayer at heart. One thing about children take things at heart. I was telling you about my cousins. When my mom called me and this boy was reading to me the Bible, like the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, how many more, books are for Moses, and the boy tells me there are 5, and he says them, and then he lists the New Testament, all the books to Revelation. And this is why I'm telling you this. Children take things at heart and they don't leave them. I think that's why the Bible says teach your child when they're still young. So teach your child the way of the Lord, so that when they grow, they don't come out of it. When there is a seed plant, as if only kids can be saved by the prayers of their parents, if their parents are prayerful people. But what happens if a child does not know God? The word of God is the only thing that can save them. So the good thing is that Sarah had gone to this place, the church, and they had read this verse to him, and he held on it. Psalms 91. He held on it. He was like, I'm hugging. So because he's a child, he caught it in his memory, and he was smart. So when it reached this day, they took Sorrow to this place for testing. And he says it was a place of darkness, that left and right were these monsters. He could hear them and he could feel them, but he could not see them. They were side by side, and because he was not supposed to be scared, he was supposed to be brave. And the devil wants brave people. So he started going through that test. The thing is, he could hear voices, and you're not supposed to follow those voices. That was the test. The test was to be brave, so that they use him brave. And some people fail these tests and they actually lose their lives in it. So Sarah starts walking in this place of darkness, and he's hearing people calling his name and talking to him. He's supposed to ignore those voices until he reaches to the destiny, and he comes out of it without being tricked and coming out of it. So he starts walking and trying to, disorganize the voices in his head. But this is why he actually did. So in that place, he started saying Psalms 91. As he was walking in that place of darkness, he starts saying, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I'll serve the Lord. He's my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Surely he will save me from the fowler's snare and the deadly pestilence. He will cover me with his feathers, and under his wings I'll find refuge. His faithfulness will be shield. When he kept saying this, he's a young kid. He doesn't know what he's saying because he was not even there for a long time. But he's a baby. But because he's sad, so he's saying this Psalms 91 prayer. And he says, the place started shaking. Just the name of Jesus, when he speak, the place started shaking. And what was happening is that the test was failing. The test was failing because the baby, they think he's a child and they picked from the street. Actually, God was fast. He ran, and that's why the Bible says, I knew you before you were actually born. So God puts that marker on you. And the devil thinks he has you because you're drinking, you think you're taken by the devil. Because you're smoking, you think you're taken by the devil. No, it's a behavior. Your past does not determine that God does not love you or does not choose you. What you've been through, your trauma, does not mean that God is not with you. God is with you in every situation. The problem is that we love God in good situations, good times. You know what Psalms 23 says? Psalms 23 has two things. It has the green pastures, which is the beauty of life. And then it has in the shadow of darkness. Okay? There is the shadow of darkness and there is the green pastures in Psalms 23. But that's the meaning of salvation. If I can say this, I've understood this. It's life, the life we live in. It cannot be perfect. But because we think God is with us in only good times, we don't see him when he's saving us in bad times. There are times that you've not gone through accidents. God was there with you. There are times someone schemed to do something to you, harm to you, and God was there. He served you. But there are those times you've not seen, the unseen. The unseen, the things that God do that we don't see. Those are the ones that we don't praise him for. We praise God in the things that we see, and we forget that he's actually there in the things we don't see. He's there when you sleep. There is no cockroach that goes into your mouth and comes out. There is no snake that comes and dwells in your house. Thieves come and pass your house every night. You're protected. You're under the protection of God, and he's with you in every situation. You don't see that. And this is proof of sorrow. So Sarah prayed in 91 verse without knowing what is in it. He just prayed it because they said it in church when they were preaching to them. He held it and he started saying it. When he started saying it, there was power in this verse. There were power in these words because they are just not words. The Bible says the word of God is true and it will stay forever. He says heaven and earth shall pass, but the word of God shall stay. It will never pass. So hold on to a scripture in every situation you're in. It doesn't matter. What is it? No child? What is it? A man left you? What is it? You're caught in drinking and you can't let go of a certain behavior that is not living. I don't care what it is. Hold a verse. This 91 Psalms is very important. And one day I'll break down Psalms 23 and the importance of that. So Sarah prayed as a child. And when she prayed as a child, this is what happened. It's the kingdom of darkness started shaking because of the prayer that was coming out of this little lad. And the angels of God spoken actually appeared. He says he saw two men appear strongly in this dark place and breaking and throwing every kind of thing that was in that place. And light shined in the place of darkness because of this prayer, and he was saved. When he came out, he came running back to the house of the woman. When he reached in the house of the woman had become ill. And she said, "What did you do, Sarah? What did you do? What did you do? Get out of my house. Pack your things and leave. Get out. Get out. I don't want to see you. Get out of my house." Sarah did not want to stay in this woman's house. He wanted to be saved. He wanted to run away from the terror of his life. So he ran and went to church, and he was still late. he went to church the night and there was no harm that was caused to this poor lad. Even if he was poor, he remained with his life. Even if he was young, he separated right and wrong. He knew something was wrong here. So not everyone that actually comes to help you, they have intentions to actually help you. Some come for their own reasons. Some come because they are sent from somewhere. They have a mission to accomplish. So be careful of the people that come in your life and try to support you. Do not chase people out. That's what I'm saying, but be careful. It's just like that. He was a child, but he was careful. When he went back to church, he prayed. And he saw the pastor and told the pastor what had happened, and they all prayed. They knelt down and started praying for the boy, They said, "Where are you going to stay?" And he says, "I don't know. I have nowhere to stay." They said, "Okay, you can stay here for as long as you want, and then you can find work." So the boy stayed in the pastor's home, and he started struggling slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly. And I am gonna stop there today, yo. Woo. What do you guys think about today's episode? Sarah's life, by the way, is not complete. It is not complete, he's still a child. But that is the thing. Sarah suffered what he suffered because of his name. He was going through troubles, and it's just like, that's why when you're naming your children, do not name kids. Every name is powerful because it's a word. So the mom named Sarah after her sorrow, and the kid started seeing sorrow at a young age. All his life there was no peace, there was no settlement, there was nothing. It was just like moving from place to place, suffering and fighting things, suffering to live. And that's sorrow. And the story is still going for Sarah. But the good thing is that he had found help on the way. The hand of God. But we don't know if Sarah's mom is still alive or the dad is still alive. We don't know that. What happens to Sarah? Does he grow? What happens in his life? So anyway, I was still talking about names. Be careful when you name children names. Like, for example, naming children after like famous people. You don't know. Most famous people don't have like their birth names. Most of them use like celebrity names or what they call stage names. But you actually do not know where those names come from, because when someone is given a stage name or they bear a stage name, it comes from somewhere, and it actually has its powers, it has its force, it has its ownership, it has its purpose. So it will do. You name your child that name, that means you are actually calling that spirit to serve in that child's life. So that's why Sarah, she had a spirit moving around him, but because of the hand of God and God's faithfulness and kindness, he was able to be saved from that sacrifice he was going into. So be careful when you name kids names. Don't be excited about a certain person and be like, I'll name you this. We see in the Bible, for example, Jabez. I don't know if you guys know the story of Jabez. Jabez was a child who was named a name that he did not love. His name was close to sorrow. I think it was more like that. The mom was also going through agony, and he chose to name the child Jabez, which meant, I think, suffering, or where I come. Let me get that correct before I actually say. Yes, so pain. Oh, it actually means sorrow. That's crazy. It means sorrow. It says Jabez was a biblical figure whose name literally means pain or sorrow. His mother gave him his name considered more honorable than his brothers. Okay, so his name was because it was more honorable. Can you imagine a woman gives birth to a child and then names him a name because, more honorable than his brothers? But the name meant sorrow. So Jabez prayed to God and said, God, you know what? That's why so many people change names in the Bible. So many people's names change in the Bible for a reason. You can see that Sarai became Sarah. Abraham became Abraham. And then there is this man who fought, Jacob. The reason why Jacob, the name, I'm not even coming for the Jacobs, okay? I'm just saying, the name is important, mostly because of this episode. Jacob was a thief. He stole from his brother. When he stole from his brother, that theft, his whole prosperity, Laban, the uncle, or the uncle, I think, he captured his cattle, the fat cattle. He said that, you know what, these cattle that are in white, I think whites that have dots, I'm just gonna go back to the story to get it correct. Those will be your cows and this will be mine. Then God blessed him and his became, more fatter and good. And then the uncle said, no, those are mine. Those are the ones that I said I wanted. The other ones belong to you, the ones that are thin. He knew. And he said, you know what? My name is the problem. My name is the problem. So he fought with God actually one night and he says, you're not leaving until you give me a new name. So you guys be careful. And if like your parents have ever given you a name, you can change it. If a name is not, like for example, you are called Last. Something like that. And you're lastful, like you don't sleep, okay, until, something happens. And everyone has like a place where they come from and they really like need to work on that. I'm personally like working on myself every single day. I know I'm not perfect, so I'm trying my best, and I hope you guys are trying your best too. So that was all today about sorrow, the boy. We'll continue the episode tomorrow. Any questions before I leave? Let me see if you guys have some questions for me. I haven't stretched. I'm thinking of like maybe I want to start posting for membership, so join my membership for serious stretching only. Serious stretching only. Okay, you guys tell me right now. I'm just going through questions to see if I have any questions. What up? How we doing? I'm dancing, yo. Can you see me dance? Hey. Ooh. I dance for y'all. Don't cry for me. Yep. Any questions? No. Thank you. I stand up doing yoga. I'm not gonna stand up doing this. Tired. Ow. I'm wearing socks because today has been so cold. But each time I lock these doors, it becomes too hot. It's like too hot. It's not even funny how hot it is inside here. It gets like too hot real quick. I'm like struggling with fire. Questions? Thank you. I'm tired. Need to go. Maybe I should do a membership live tonight. I don't know. No, I'm tired. I want to start posting for members. They already have one stretch up there. I want to get serious with them. Subscribe right now. Subscribe. 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 Like, comment, and share my videos. Go watch all the recent videos, like them, share them. Let's grow again. Let's go again. This is loud because I'm trying to read the questions. I'm gonna be coming for some Q's and A's sometime pretty soon with a live. God bless you, Willie. Everyone that has stayed in today's live. Tomorrow we are continuing with Mr. Sorrow to see actually how his journey goes by, what happens. Yeah. Good night. Go sleep tight. That's the reason for these lives. We do a lot so that you guys are tired and ready for bed. And I'm gonna just go ready for bed too. We had a live stretch class yesterday. We have a live stretch class every Sunday. Let me see if I can add some days up for the lives. Tune in. Membership. Stretches. Only those people that are serious for getting flexible. That is what I am working on right now. Even in membership. So yep, I'm gonna try to build back the stretches that were gone, but beta, I just want to make it more professional, having matching outfits, and yeah, selling everything we're supposed to do. You're gonna pay for the ticket and the hotel for me to train. I've never thought of training, like traveling to train. I've had people asking that, but honestly, I don't know if it's safe for me for now. But I could make it safe, I know that, but not take care of it. We need to grow fast. Let's grow fast and see if we can like travel to train, things like that. Hi. Any questions before I leave? I am leaving in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Give me questions. And if you want to support me, you can join the membership. Buy me a coffee, or you can leave a super thanks. Anything. But if not, that's cool too, because I get enough support from you guys by watching. Liking and commenting and sharing means a lot to me. Your family. You're my family. Oh, guys, I'm proud to have people like I love you guys a lot. That's why I'm not tired. Even when I'm tired, I come looking crazy for you and tell these stories looking hell mad. But I don't care about it. I'm like, I love them, and let Let me spend time with them. Tell them about the God I know, even though I'm still struggling to knowing that you can't be perfect. We are perfected in Him, but we can work it out slowly but sure. Each time I've tried to be perfect, I've fallen even deeper in my mistakes. That's one thing I've learned. So I've learned to let go and allow God to take His part slowly, and not like put a lot of pressure on myself and fear. Fear comes from the enemy. You can't live salvation in fear. You have to fight with love. That's what I'm doing recently. Hey boyfriend, how you doing? Go subscribe if you haven't. Ooh, make this channel grow. Take me to 1 million. At least one video to 1 million. So that brings more people. Who cares anyway, as long as you guys stay here. That is important. Let us grow. What is Hunter? Name like that, Hunter. What are you hunting down here? Asking questions like that. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. My eyes are taken. Oh, thank you, Ruben. We just finished the story of a boy named Sarah, and it's just halfway. He has an ending, even if it's not the end of his entire life, but at least he has where he's reached. And we're going to tell that. We'll tell stories every day just to see how you can connect to some of the stories that I tell. Some will empower you, some will leave you astonished, like shocked. Some will leave you happy. Some will leave you thinking about actually joining God's family. Yes. And then some will teach you that we don't live a life of being perfect, but we learn and grow every single day. We let mistakes happen, and then we learn to, get better at doing better. More humanity, more. That's why the stories are told. That's all I'm trying to put there. Because one thing that actually grew us back home, where I even tell stories, we were so poor. Stories were in our house every single day. Like my aunties coming and telling stories, my uncles, because we had like lots of people, even people from church, and the stories from the neighbors we saw from like what we grew in. So dad gave us faith. I'll speak for myself. Gave me faith. I learned a lot of things. I learned gratitude when I was young because of the things that happened. Then I learned hard work. That's why I work hard, because hard work pays off. You don't sit there and expect God to throw manna from heaven to come to you. Yeah, that happened to them because they were not working. They were on a journey going somewhere. You work and eat. Even the Bible says that. So I learned hard work. Then I learned kindness because of where I've grown from and the things I've seen. And if you want to know a little bit of my story, you can go check out my playlist and watch story time. We're on episode 8 today. Is it 8? And all the episodes back are great. I'll tell you right now. They teach you life. They teach you forgiveness. They teach you what happens when you don't forgive. Now today we learned one of the most greatest prayer chapters in the book of the Bible. Psalms 91 will save you wherever you go. Meditate on it. Just give it a thought. Read it. Doesn't have to be. You guys read books. You read novels, and I'll be telling you about it. You read novels, so What's wrong with the Bible? Read it like you read any other book. Try it. Give it a chance. Don't just like throw. I always say don't throw the idea away before trying it. Don't dismiss it. Bring it in. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, I don't know, because there is no one that has ever read the Bible and never worked for them, because it speaks truth, it's life, it's comfort. So that's all I'm saying there. So story time, I just come and tell you stories that I know. You relate to them, and you can always leave comments. Leave comments after the lives. What you think about, what you thought of the story, what it taught you. Maybe it connects you to something that has happened in your life before. And yeah, that's it. So my 5 times are done, yo. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. Good night.